Greetings, my fellow guardians of the galleries. I'm William Young, correctional officer, author, and advocate for the correctional profession. And today's inquiry was sent to me from a brand new correctional officer who has a concern, a major concern. He says that there was a high-profile individual, an inmate in his facility that is hated by the community. It seems here that this particular prisoner committed an act that our CO is describing here as atrocious. And what he wants to know is, how does he remain professional? Bite his tongue, mind his P's and Q's when he interacts with you-know-who. And there's a part two. Man, I love this question. He asks, how does he then deal with the aftermath? The emotional and mental aspect of engaging with this individual. I love this discussion because it seems like an easy one. A no-brainer. Something a trainer may respond to by saying, just remain fair, firm, and consistent. But listen, not everything is always so cut and dry. So let's try a different approach, shall we? See, to me, this is one of the more difficult duties that we have to perform. I can hear my veteran counterparts rolling their eyes. But let's admit, let's be honest, just for a minute that there have been moments, there have been incarcerated men and women that we have been less than excited to deal with. People that have committed or have been accused of crimes that make us cringe. Have you dealt with this? Let me know in the comments below. Have you ever encountered an individual inside that made you so angry, so disgusted, so emotional that you wanted to tell him to kick rocks or pound sand? I have. I remember serving breakfast and coffee to a convicted child killer, a convict whose criminal history was the very definition of atrocious. And one morning after he politely thanked me for the meal, he asked me if I knew the score of the Lakers game. Lakers game! My brain broke. I was caught off guard. I remember rifling through my Rolodex of responses, my go-to one-liners, and I had nothing. I just stood there staring, looking at him, looking back at me, and I felt this churning inside. These not-so-nice words ready to surface, ready to spew out of my big mouth, spelling out exactly how I felt about this individual. His crimes, his face, and where he could shove his tray. But I didn't. I finished filling his county-issued cup with coffee, closed the food port, and told him no, I didn't catch the score. And even if I did, I wouldn't give it to you. I'm kidding, I didn't say that last part. But it was hard for me at first, biting my tongue, withholding what I really wanted to say. But over time, after a while, I learned that it's not worth it. I learned that I had to have a working relationship with the population. I learned that part of my job was to set aside any beliefs or biases, any preconceived notions or feelings about the incarcerated. I learned that by working in this profession, I put myself in a position where I had to set aside how I personally feel about the population and the things that they've done. I have to understand that one outburst, one moment where I run my mouth and cuss a guy out may cost me my job. And then what? What's the point? What's the point in telling an inmate what you think he did was disgusting? Well, I'm guessing that he or she assumes that you already feel that way. Plus, and I've seen this happen quite a bit, inmates will use your humanity against you to get a reaction out of you. They're waiting for you to talk crazy or to treat them differently than you do the rest of the inmates. They can't wait. And once you do, they got you. I've seen inmates taunt officers that have voiced their dislike for them, baiting them into a conflict. So don't go there. It's not worth it. Trust me, it's not worth it. Do you agree? Am I making sense? If so, go ahead and hit that like button. It's right there. There you go. So that's the easy part. Biting your tongue, staying professional is the easy part. Now for me, the battle begins. Because what happens to us internally, mentally, when we operate in opposition to how we actually feel? Because each encounter like this creates a tiny little crack in our armor, in our psyche. See, each incident erodes us emotionally, and over time, if left unchecked, we can become numb. And although that attribute might bode well for us on the inside, it'll cripple us on the outs. So what can we do? Well, I think what this officer did is a step in the right direction. They acknowledged that there was an issue, something that they didn't know how to get through, and they reached out, sought a solution. And that's beautiful because too many of us don't. We pretend that we're so tough that nothing will ever get to us. Oh, but it does. So step one is admitting that you have a problem. And step two is to talk about that concern with whomever you are the closest to. A coworker, a neighbor, a priest, whoever you feel comfortable in confiding in. Talk to the vets. Not the angry, nothing bothers me, maybe you should get another job vet. Go find the I remember what it's like to be you, so how can I help vet. We can't keep this crap bottled up. It's too much. I mean, right now you may have only 1 or 2 examples of something like this happening to you, but if you make this a career and you do this for 15 or 20 years and never open up, eventually you'll explode like my diet soda that I left in the freezer overnight. A good indicator that you may need to speak to somebody is if you think that you may need to speak to somebody. So reach out. There is nothing wrong with reaching out, seeking help, asking for advice. None of us can carry the weight of what we see and have to do alone. Guys, if you found value in this video, let me know in the comments below. And before you go, before you crawl too far down in the YouTube rabbit hole, like and share this video. And make sure to subscribe to Guardian RFID for more premium correctional content like this. All right, guys, that's all I got. Until next time, be smart, stay safe, stay sane, and we'll talk soon.